Yeah. We are representing the students from the Erasmus University in Rotterdam, aiming to make the campus more sustainable of the Erasmus University, and inspiring students to actually being concerned with sustainable development. Personally, I think your movie is not quite inspiring, but it's quite negative. Like it's like sort of a doom scenario. So what is actually your message with the movie? Do you want to actually people are aware of climate change because of your movie now? How you actually want them to change their lifestyles?
Why did you select these selection of scenes, of stories actually? What was the thought behind this?
Okay, I'll answer yours first. And I've got really bad memory, so you have to remind me what yours is. Okay. Well, thanks for the leading question, because basically we finished the film in May last year, and then we did all these screenings, and everybody asked that question after every screening. What can I do, basically, is the question. And for the first, so from May till like March, I was just kind of saying generic answer to this question. You know, protest, cut your emissions, join forces, all of this. And then I was doing well, I'll cut a long story short. We launched a campaign on the back of the film called 10-10, and it's about cutting 10% of emissions next year, i.e. in 2010, 10-10. And we had this idea, and then we launched it in September the 1st in London. At the moment, it's just UK. But it took off so fast, it's growing so fast, it's the fastest growing campaign. It's got 50,000 people have signed up. Basically, you're asking people as an individual or as a school or as a business or as a country to commit to cut 10% next year, which is the kind of emissions cuts we need to be making, and not talking about 2050 and 2020 and all those far away targets. And within the first 48 hours, we had 50,000 people, 1,000 businesses, including big names like Microsoft, Sony. Sony signed up yesterday. And then we had all of the cabinet, which is the political leaders. The Prime Minister signed up. And then they had a 3-hour debate in Parliament about whether they were going to sign up the entire public sector of the UK, i.e. all the schools, all the hospitals, everything. This is all within like a month of launching it, so it took off so much faster than we could ever imagine. And that we lost the vote actually, but still, it was still pretty good. It was funny, if you can watch it online, the debate in Parliament, because all of these like famous to us in the UK, famous politicians, they're all talking about 10-10 as if, you know, it was Oxfam or something like that, not something that just a few of us had launched 6 weeks before. And the really, we actually had 100 days of 10-10 on Wednesday, and people are signing up at the rate of 10 schools a day, and one big business and 10 schools a day are signing up in the UK. And the best thing that I like about it comes to you, is the local councils. 100 local councils in the UK have now signed up, which covers 1/3 of the population of Britain. So in other words, next year they're going to be providing all those services to all those people with 10% less emissions. So this is pretty major, major stuff happening, and I actually find it like incredibly heartening myself. Just after all these years of talking about all these things and all these problems and what are we going to do, what are we going to do, to suddenly start seeing all these people. The Guardian are following it very carefully, and you can read all about it. Like they have all these interviews with how Microsoft are going to cut their 10%, and it's all about our server farms, and it's like all the detail, you know. And then Royal Mail, the whole British Mail post system is going to cut their 10%, and it's all about our trucks are going to drive in different things, and you know, so it's very inspiring. If you want to sign up to 10-10, we bought a plane, and we recycled it into these tags. Seriously, this is a part of a 747. Cool. And we haven't actually paid off the 747 yet. Still in debt on the 747 front. But if you sign up to 10-10, which I'm sure you can do with involving Lizzie over there, or on the 10-10 website, 1010uk.org or 1010 Global, it's easy to find, then you get a tag, except you don't because we haven't got enough volunteers posting them out, but broadly you do. And we've got 27 countries now wanting to start 10-10 in their country, including Denmark, I happen to know. So I think the point is really that the political leaders have got us. I mean, we've known about climate change 30, 40 years, and we're absolutely at the end of the time when we could still do something. And, you know, we're going to know in 3 or 4 days what the political response to the greatest ever threat is. But regardless of that, 1 week later, 1st of January 2010, all of the UK, slight exaggeration, a lot of people are going to just start tackling the problem. And in a way, I think that's what we all have to do as individuals and as schools and as businesses and across society. We've got to get on with it, regardless. If the politicians make a great deal, great. If they don't, we've still got to start doing it. So that's kind of it. I mean, every generation that came before us didn't know about climate change. And every generation that follows us, it'll be too late for them to do anything. So it does come down to us, I'm afraid. I actually personally find this quite inspiring because I'm of the MTV generation, which a lot of people here also are. And, you know, we've been told our whole life that the point of our existence is to go shopping, to play computer games, and then die. And so it actually turns out that we, us all here, you know, we've got the future in our hands. If we don't act now, let's say it's bloody curtains. And personally, I find this very inspiring and exciting, that our existences are not pointless after all. Getting a bit metaphysical. Yep.
You haven't filmed many politicians